Wow. What are you doing?
Oh, well,
I said no more squash, right?
you said no more squash in your video, so I'm taking it that you don't want any more squash. And
Aren't they beautiful though?
plants, I mean,
One plant
one plant 6 foot long.
and still got blooms.
No squash bugs, they're beautiful. Look at this. Look at that. It's taller than I am, so it's probably closer to 7 foot.
It's touching the ground.
Touching the ground.
So what about them house tool sunflowers that we growing?
Well, and the thing about it is, they still got baby squash all in them. You know what I mean? It's kind of sad because look how pretty they are. They're beautiful, and look down in there. Look at that. There's a squash there, one there, one there, one there. You know, you can't keep them forever. I mean, we've put up how many? I don't even know how many cases of squash we've canned. I don't know how many we've sold, how many we've given away.
How many we've eaten fresh?
We've eaten fresh. Matter of fact, we just got through eating some just now, and you can't keep them forever. I mean, the squash bugs have not been in them at all this year.
That's beautiful.
And I don't want them to get started. So at some point, you just got to say enough's enough, you know?
And they're going from my peas, which we don't want them to get into the peas, to your okra that we need to be ready to pick. Look at that. And the powdery mildew's hit.
Yeah, it's getting started. I mean, it's not bad, but it's getting started.
It's getting there.
See these leaves? It's in the tops of them, you know? I mean, I've been keeping it all pruned out, but...
If you prune all the leaves that have it, you're taking the majority of these plants here.
Yeah. Look at
I see a big squash still.
I mean, this is the gold prize from Hoss Tool. It's a straight neck squash. We're not going to throw away the squash that's on them now. We're going to still eat them. The problem is finding the base of these things. This one here tied itself in knots. You get one hiding on there every now and then. Also, I'm noticing some root nematode issues on this thing. So
It was just a matter of time.
it was a matter of time. Guys, one of the things they say about squash is true. As I pull these up, there's no row cover, there's no weeds. So squash do a fantastic job of keeping the weeds out. So the Three Sisters thing is right about squash protecting the corn's roots, the ground. It stays damp, it stays weed free underneath it. That part of it would be actually true. This is one of the issues we're talking about here. That's why we don't want to leave them. See the root nematodes? They're starting to get on these squash bad. So it's better to nip this thing in the bud now. Look at all that before we get too far into it. So the timing is just right. This one here is it went down in yonder, went all the way over that way, curled, turned, and come back up. here, and then it started branching off here, coming off again. So this stuff will cover a big area. It's like a vine almost. Well, got a mess cleaned up here. Guys, that's the end of the squash in this garden. Now we have 4 or 5 plants over in the other garden that will probably more than produce what Wanda and I want to eat till they start giving problems. But sometimes you have to make the executive decision to clean the garden up. Plants don't last forever. Plenty of food come off of them. Plenty of people were blessed, including ourselves. God was good. We give Him the glory for all of it. He gave us beautiful plants. I will say this is the first year I've never had a squash bug. I did not have one this year. I didn't have a vine borer. I'm thankful for that. Don't actually know why. Last year we were infested with them. So I attribute that to the good Lord having held them away. You know, the blessings of obedience talks about He will rebuke the devourer. Even in Malachi, when He talks about when you honor Him like you're supposed to and with financially and everything, that He rebukes the devourer. And that's the only thing I can say is it was Him. Had nothing to do with us for sure. But we have been blessed this year to have enough squash, like I said, to can cases of it, many cases, and sell a bunch to a lot of people who needed squash, gave a lot of it away. It's been a good year, what can I say? May not have another year like this one, I don't know. Maybe that's why God gave it to us in abundance this year. Maybe this is the last year we can grow squash and grow it good. I don't know. Only time will tell. The next thing in the garden will be our tomatoes. After the tomatoes, we have some okra coming along. We have some peas. The issues is one reason why we're getting rid of the squash. The powdery mildew, the root nematodes, things like this. We've got all we need. So there's no need to keep prolonging this thing and putting something, maybe a disease, back into our soil. We're just thankful to have it out of here now. Our ground is clean. We'll probably come through here with a tiller and till it. And that's the best thing you can do for root nematodes in the summertime, is just keep tilling it. And that's what we want to do. Last year we planted the broadleaf mustard in here, and we attribute that to having held them at bay as long as they've been held at bay. And I don't know. One and I have so many other irons in the fire right now that we need to start getting us a break from the gardening for a while. We've got lots of tomatoes fixing to come in. We're going to be working with that hard and heavy. Y'all know we're working on the greenhouse. There's lots of things we have going on right now at Deep South Homestead. We have some surprises even coming up. You know, we have to focus our attention on other things. We can't just focus on one thing here at Deep South Homestead, because 2020 is a year I told y'all that you're going to see massive change at Deep South Homestead. And I think this year you've probably seen a lot of change you wasn't expecting. You know, we've got 2 greenhouses going now, all the row covers, the gardens, everything that's come along, and now we're fixing to embark on new journeys. So we're going to be enjoying life as much as we can, you know, and we're going to be trying to raise as much food as we can and put up as much food as we can, because guys, whether you want to believe it or not, the grand solar minimum, it is real, and we're making preparations for it now. We know that there's things coming up here in the next few months that is going to be a big issue. We got things coming up in 2024 that's going to be a big issue. So we're just trying to make provisions now while things are good. So thank you guys for coming along with us And thank you so much for being a part of our family here in our community on Deep South Homestead. We appreciate each and every one of you. You're such a blessing to us. And thank you from Deep South Homestead.